All right. Hello everyone. So this pre-lab discussion will cover parts 2 and 3, all right, of our protein experiment, which we will do uh on week number 4, all right, for this term. And after this, actually, may kasabay pa na isang experiment, no, yung experiment number 1. But I'm hoping that the experiment number 1 will not take long because this is just about preparing your buffer that we will use for the enzyme kinetics experiment or enzyme assay experiment. Okay? So, part 2, no, of this experiment on proteins will just look at the denaturation, no, of your proteins. No, what are the different factors that can cause denaturation of your proteins that will eventually lead to precipitation of your proteins, no? So titingnan lang natin yung iba't ibang factors, no? Um, that can possibly denature and precipitate your proteins. Okay. And then for part 3, this is just a simple chromatography experiment, no? Particularly paper chrom. I assume that you have already done chromatography experiment, no, in your organic chem lab. I think sa organic chem lab, usually TLC pa yung ginagamit nyo or thin layer chromatography. No? Dito, paper chromatography lang. So, filter paper lang yung gagamitin natin. So, I'll discuss more on that in the next few slides. So, let's first go on the different factors that can affect the structure of your protein. All right, so the first factor is heat. No? Pero sinama ko na rin dito yung isoelectric point, no? So in terms of heat, no, heating your proteins can denature your proteins, no? So when you heat proteins, you're adding thermal energy, no? And this thermal energy can break the different forces of attraction or intermolecular or intramolecular forces of attraction in your protein, no? So yung mga hydrogen bonds, yung mga polar interactions, all right, can be broken by heating, right? Even the salt bridges, no, yung mga electrostatic attractions between your positive and negative charges, they can be broken down by heating your proteins, no, and therefore your proteins will be denatured, no, and once denatured, they can precipitate, no. And then another aspect that you will look at here is the effect of adding acid to your protein, right? Pero when you add acid, what you're actually driving at, no, is going to the isoelectric point of your uh, protein, no? Particularly dito albumin yung ating protein na gagamitin, right? So yung proteins, no, when they are at their isoelectric point, um yung mga charges, no, there are present positive and negative charges, no, but the net charge would be equal to 0, no? So when the pH is equal to the Pi or the isoelectric point, no, the net charge of your protein is 0, but you have positive and negative charges, no, within your protein. All right, when your proteins are at their isoelectric point, no, or when the pH of the environment of the protein is equal to the isoelectric point, there is an increase in the electrostatic attraction, no, between your proteins, promoting the precipitation, no, of your proteins. Okay, then we will also look at adding alcohols, no? Adding alcohols can decrease the dielectric constant of the solvent, right? Which will promote precipitation. Then you have alkaloidal reagents, no? Itong alkaloidal reagents naman, they can disrupt electrostatic attractions, no? Because of the negative charges present in your alkaloidal reagents. So ganun din yung ini-expect nating result, no? Magkakaroon ka ng precipitate kasi made-denature yung iyong protein. And then, for the heavy metal salt, no? Heavy metal salts can form precipitates with your negatively charged proteins because your heavy metals have positive charges. No? They can interact or attract your negatively charged proteins, all right? Precipitating your proteins. No? So, possible din na mangyari yon sa experiment natin. Now, another aspect that we are going to investigate, no, is the process of salting out. No? Salting out is a common process in isolating biomolecules, no? Particularly your proteins, no? Your nucleic acids. So, ano yung concept ng salting out? So, the solubility of a molecule, no, in this case, your proteins, are affected by the concentration of the salt present in your solution. Okay? Initially, no, kung wala pang salt concentration, no, you start with a low solubility of your protein. Now, as the salt concentration increases, initially, no, kapag mababa pa yung salt concentration, initially, the solubility increases as the salt concentration increases. No? The reason behind that is the salt that you are adding, no, will start to interact with the negative and positive charges of the individual protein molecules. No? So, kumbaga, gumagawa ka ng isang shell, right, that will solvate, no, or will mediate the interaction between your protein and water molecules. No? So, yun yung ginagawa initially ng salt. Okay? However, no, there is a threshold or a limit to that. No? Meron ka lang maximum salt concentration or salt concentration at which you will achieve maximum solubility. And what happens after that is, as you add more salt, baliktad na yung nagiging effect. Alright? Because you're adding too much salt, okay, this time, you are now providing competition, no, between the interaction between your ions and the protein versus interaction between the ions and the water. Okay, na-outcompete ng interaction between ions and the water yung interaction ng ions and protein. Okay, dahil sobrang daming ions, your water will now prefer to interact with your ions than your protein. No? And in this case, kapag ganun yung nangyari, your proteins will start to aggregate, okay? And therefore, it will result in precipitation. Okay? Again, pag sobrang dami na ng salt na nilagay mo in your system, no, it can cause precipitation of your protein. Okay? So, depende sa protein, may kanya-kanya silang salt concentration kung saan nila ma-reach yung maximum solubility. Okay? So, yung initial process no, of adding salt to increase the solubility, actually ang tawag dyan ay salting in. Okay? Kasi kumbaga parang pinapapasok mo yung protein into the solvent. Right? You're solvating your protein. But as you add more salt, okay, the process is actually called salting out. Okay? So, in salting out, you expect your protein to precipitate from the solution. Okay, yun lang. No, yun lang actually yung part 2. Dapat mabilis lang siya kung kaya nyo i-manage yung time nyo ng maayos. Okay? Now, for the part 3 of this is yung inyong chromatography experiment, no? Paper chromatography. You have to, what do you call this? You have to take note that during this experiment day, dapat unahin niyo yung pag-set up ng chromatography or at least someone in the group is starting to set up the chromatographic experiment, no? Kasi ito yung kailangan pa nating hintayin, no? May waiting time to. Kailangan nating maghintayin na umakyat yung solvent dun sa inyong filter paper. Okay? So, unahin nyo to, then while someone is doing it, no, then another member of the group can do the part 2. Okay? So, pwedeng ganun yung task distribution ninyo. Basta dapat mauna to kasi ito yung pwedeng magpatagal sa inyo, no? Kasi may waiting time to. Alright? So, in this part 3, no, again, you will be provided an unknown solution. Pero yung unknown solution nyo dito will be different or may be different kasi baka magkapareho, no? By chance. But it may be different from the unknown that you have from part 1, no? So, hindi siya necessarily pareho. So, unknown pa rin siya at this point. Okay? So, you have a new unknown that will be provided to you, and you will determine the identity of the unknown by comparing the RF values, no? Parang sa PLC, if you have the same RF value, if yung unknown mo has the same RF value with the RF value of a given standard, then you have greater confidence, no, to conclude na okay, itong unknown ko ay itong specific molecule na to. Okay, so RF ang i-compare natin. So in this experiment, you will be using a 10 by 12 centimeter filter paper. Alright, so please bring pencil, and actually, I think in some sections nasabi ko na hindi kailangan ng ruler. Well, you do not necessarily need a ruler, no? Pwedeng any straight edge. Pero if you want to measure RF on the spot, no, then you might as well bring ruler para mas makapag-measure na agad kayo ng RF. Okay? Or retention factor. Okay. And then, yung filter paper ninyo, I think I have a figure here. Just give me a second. Hanapin ko na yung figure ko. Hindi ko siya na-prepare. Pero meron ako dito. Ito. Kopyahin ko na lang to. Ito na yung ilagay. Delete ko lang yung mga dapat i-delete. Okay. Kita ko to, no? Alright. So, ayan. Well, in inches, no? 5 inches by 4 inches. But the filter paper will be provided to you already. No? So, you don't have to worry about the measurements. So, you will draw a line 1 centimeter from the bottom. No? And then, depende kung anong available. Pero usually, 6 standards are being provided, and then yung unknown ninyo. So, a total of 7 spots. No? Pero depende nga, no? Kung 5 lang yung standards, then 5 lang yung spot ninyo, tapos yung pang-anim is yung unknown. No? So, tingnan natin kung ano ipoprovide sa atin during the experiment. No? Pero, dapat, when you spot, or when you make the spots, as much as possible, equidistant, no? Yung consecutive spots to each other. Okay? Ideally. And dapat yung spot sa dulo, no, must at least be, I think, 1 inch. Kung di ako nagkakamali. Nasa lab manual kung ano yung dapat na distance between the edge of the filter paper, no, and your spot. Okay? Siguro 1 cm is also a good measure. Basta dapat hindi sobrang dikit sa dulo and equidistant as much as possible yung spots natin. Alright, so hopefully marunong kayong mag-spot properly from your organic chemistry laboratory. Then, ilalagay natin siya sa 500 ml beaker. Dito natin i-develop yung ating chromatographic setup. Okay? Then, ideally, na umabot siya ng around 2 centimeters from the top of the filter paper, no, yung inyong solvent front. Pero by experience, minsan hindi siya umaabot, no, minsan tumitigil siya at some point. No, okay lang 'yon. Pag tumigil na siya, tingin niyo hindi na siya umaakyat, pwede niyo na siyang tanggalin, but make sure to mark where the solvent front is, no, para makapag-measure kayo properly ng RF. Okay? So the solvent that we will be using is a mixture of N-butanol, acetic acid, and water in 100 to 22 to 50 ratio. Okay? So it is already prepared, right, by our lab technicians, so you don't have to prepare this anymore. Okay? So in the 500 ml beaker, just put some amount of solvent, no, such that pag nilapag niyo yung filter paper, initially, hindi magta-touch yung solvent sa mga spots ninyo. No? So, dapat hindi sobrang laki ng spot and hindi sobrang dami ng solvent. Kasi dapat magta-touch lang yung solvent once na umakyat na siya. Okay? Magta-touch lang dapat yung solvent sa mga spots once na umakyat na siya para sabay-sabay yung pag-akyat nila. No? And ideally, di ba, dapat yung pag-akyat ng solvent nyo is straight. No? Hindi siya nakatagilid. Otherwise, your spots will also move diagonally. Okay? And while waiting for the solvent front to move, right, dapat tatakpan nyo ng watch glass to make sure na saturated yung beaker nyo with the solvent. Okay, then you will measure RF values, compare RF values, kung sino yung may pinakamalapit na RF values, then yun yung sabihin, yun yung identity, no, ng inyong unknown. One more thing, no? Yung inyong amino acids cannot be seen by the naked eye. So gagamit tayo ng ninhydrin, no? Remember, sa ninhydrin test, magiging purple yung amino acid. So mag-spray tayo ng ninhydrin sa filter paper ninyo, i-dry natin, no? Makikita natin yung mga purple spots. Now, when handling the filter paper, you must be careful kasi as we have mentioned, no, your hands or your fingers have amino acids. No, sa pagka hinawakan niyo yung filter paper with your bare hands, possible na yung fingerprints ninyo, no, may makuhang amino acid doon. Pag nag-spray kayo ng ninhydrin, lilitaw din yan. Okay? So use gloves, no, when doing this paper chromatography experiment. Okay? Ayan, para lang hindi bumakat yung inyong fingers dun sa filter paper. Alright? Ayun, no? And then, please bring 250 ml skimmed milk. Gagamitin natin siya sa part 2. And then, pencil and ruler na rin, no? Kung kaya nyo magdala ng ruler. Okay, so take note that we will be doing this experiment on proteins, parts 2 and 3, kasabay ng experiment number 1. No? Kasi medyo nabawasan tayo ng lab classes. So, kailangan talaga nating humabol. Okay? Pagsasabayin natin siya with experiment number 1. Alright, thank you everyone for listening.